Welcome, Conference USA fans. I'm Nicole Cartier, and this is a special football edition of Hyphen Nation. Let's give a big congratulations to both Houston and Southern Miss for both clinching their respective divisions and earning a spot in the 2011 CUSA Football Championship. In the Cougars' final regular season showdown, Case Keenum threw for 457 yards and 5 touchdowns. 4 of those touchdowns to Patrick Edwards as Houston defeated Tulsa 48-16 this past Friday. Edwards had 181 yards and broke the Cougar record by surpassing 100 yards receiving for the 16th time in his career. He also broke the CUSA career record for receiving yardage with 4,251 yards.
Touchdown! Patrick Edwards is third of the day.
Southern Miss clinched its East Division title Saturday as Austin Davis passed for 277 yards with 2 scores, and he ran for another as the Golden Eagles breezed past Memphis 44-7. Davis completed 14 of 26 passes to give the Golden Eagles their second berth in the CUSA Championship and their first 10-win season since 1988, as they stand at 10-2 right now. Southern Miss leads the all-time series with Houston 8-5. The Golden Eagles won the last meeting 59-41 on November 20th, 2010 in Hattiesburg, but the Cougars took the last game at Robertson Stadium 50-43 back in 2009, as well as back in 2006 for the CUSA title. And right now, with its 12-0 mark in the regular season, Houston was named the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl National Team of the Week. The Cougars set a school record for wins in a season and matched records with a 12-game win streak set back in 1990 and 91. They are now ranked 6th in the BCS and are only one of 2 undefeated teams in the nation, LSU being the other one.
We have a special guest joining us today. Thulin of Fox Sports is here. He's been covering Conference USA football all season long. He knows the ins and outs of each team. Ron, thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure to be here, Nicole.
Thank you very much. Now we've got a number 6 team, Houston, playing number 23, Southern Miss, possible BCS berth, great national stage, sold-out game. Talk a little bit about what this means to Conference USA football.
It's phenomenal, first of all, because you think about it, about 8 weeks ago, Houston wasn't even ranked, and they were an afterthought to everybody, and they gradually and quietly have gone up, and I think they've gotten the national attention. You combine that with Southern Miss also being ranked right now, I think it's huge for the conference. It's getting the recognition they deserve, and it's proving that Conference USA is an outstanding conference. And I think just from a national standpoint, people now know who Houston is. They know who Southern Mississippi is too.
And let's talk about offense. Obviously, Case Keenum with Houston breaking records left and right. Southern Miss has Austin Davis breaking Golden Eagle records. Talk about each team's offense.
Phenomenal. First of all, I'll start with Houston because we obviously had them last week against Tulsa, and it was incredible to watch because there's only 3 teams that have stayed close to Houston, and all 3 teams have taken care of the time of possession. They've all rushed for over 230 yards, which shows you how potent their offense is at Houston because they have not thrown for less than 310 yards. That was versus UCLA in Game 1. What they do, and Case Keenum does so well, he finds out what your coverage is, and then he exploits whatever hole you have in the coverage. Then you have Patrick Edwards, who is not only an outstanding receiver, but he also reads defenses better than any wide receiver I've seen in years. He finds that hole. Those two are so connected, and then you can't forget Charles Sims, number 5, the running back, because he's an outstanding player on the screen pass, and that's who Tulsa coaches said was even more impressive than Case Keenum because this kid can beat us so many ways. On the other side, you've got a little more balance with Southern Miss. They don't throw the ball all over the place. They don't run the ball a lot, but they are just so balanced. And I think what the quarterbacks have done in this game is going to give us a preview of what we're going to see in this championship game. Both offenses, very powerful.
And Southern Miss had 22 different players score this year, 9 of which came on defense. Let's talk about each team's defense this year.
I'll start with the fact that both teams realize that you have to play good defense. When we talked to Larry Fedora prior to the Louisiana Tech game, he said the only thing that's kept Southern Miss from winning Conference USA championships is the fact they haven't played consistent defense. They were worried about playing defense this year. They were concerned also about people beating them on the screen pass, which they've done in years past. So what he has done with Coach Dish and the entire defensive staff, they have upped their game. They're playing a lot more aggressive. They're running to the football better than they ever have. And I think the same holds true, obviously, for Houston, because you look at what Houston did in the past defensively. They didn't handle it very well. And you bring in Coach Stewart. He gets these guys pumped up. You got a player like Sammy Brown who's going to attack. You got to keep your eye on him. I am so impressed that these two teams realize that when you look at years past at Conference USA with Central Florida, with SMU, they always had the best defenses. Well, gee, defense does win championship games. So I think both Coach Fedora and Coach Sumlin realize this, and they've anteed up the defense, and they've done it in a way where now it's a viable defense. It's not just a defense that's just on the field to waste time. They actually make things happen. Outstanding, both of them.
And what are some of the key players that you're looking at for this game? What are some key matchups that will be really interesting for the fans to watch?
Boy, that's tough. I think how you're going to cover Patrick Edwards if I'm Southern Miss, because teams have tried to do a lot of different things to take him out of the football game. They man up to him. They try to hit him when he comes off the line of scrimmage. That hasn't worked. They've tried to zone him. Case Keenum picks him apart. So how are they going to cover Patrick Edwards? And also, how are you going to defend the screen pass? Because you're going to have to watch number 5 for Houston every time there's a snap of the football, because he can line up on the outside, he runs the football, he goes on the screen pass. For that, for Southern Miss, I think right now it's how Austin's going to play. How is he going to play in this game? This is the center stage. This is a guy, as you mentioned, has set all sorts of records for the team. But talking to him at the beginning of the year, he would trade every one of these records for a conference championship. And I think, how is he going to perform on this level and the rest of the players? And also, how's the defense going to perform against a team that's so up-tempo and keeps coming at you? I think there are a lot of key matchups, but to me, it's how is Southern Miss going to defend Patrick Edwards? That's the number one key.
And you mentioned Austin Davis wanting to win a championship. Case Keenum said the same exact thing. Both of them are great friends, great players. It's going to be a very exciting matchup this Saturday. Ron Thulin, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Now, as just mentioned, Houston quarterback Case Keenum did say at the beginning of the season all he wanted to do was play for a CUSA championship. Now, they aren't only playing for that title this weekend, but they're also hosting it. Here's Case at the beginning of the season on winning a CUSA title and playing at Robertson Stadium.
I tell you, it mean a lot. It means that's really the one thing going to this year that I'm sitting on that I want to do. I want to win the conference. That's something I saw happen in 2006, and something I haven't been able to do yet as a player. I was off the field. I wasn't able to play that year, but that's something that I want to do is to give my part and to take our team to the conference championship. And I want our guys to experience that like I got to experience that as part of the team in '06. There's really nothing like what Robertson Stadium, the atmosphere has been like over the past few years on Saturdays. I think that's probably one of the best, is just being out there and playing in front of the home crowd, and just the whole feeling we get now around campus, just a sense of pride of being able to wear Houston T-shirts. I'm from U of H. That's cool. And so I think that's a big deal now, is that we've got some pride, and I think that it starts with just everybody, being proud of their university.
And we also caught up with Southern Miss quarterback Austin Davis before the season on what motivates him to play football. He also talks about playing in that spread offense of theirs and putting all those records in the Golden Eagle books.
I think from when I started getting recruited coming out of high school, I was kind of always overlooked. Didn't really get recruited very heavily at all. So just trying to prove myself, I always wanted to be able to play and for teams to look back and go, man, I wish we went after that guy. I wish we would have recruited him. We had the chance, but we didn't. So I was kind of always trying to play with that edge, and that's always motivated me. I think just from a leadership perspective, the spread offense gives you a lot of control. You're looked to make a lot of pre-snap reads. Got to make sure everyone's in the right place, and it's fast, it's upbeat. One of the biggest things we do is our tempo. We want to play really, really fast. So when you do that, you don't have the luxury of getting to huddle up and getting everybody, where they need to be. You kind of have to do that on the fly. And when you're in the spread, you need your quarterback to be that for you. So just it's kind of a neat deal to be looked at, to have to kind of run the whole show and to be the leader on the field, to really be the coach on the field. What I've always said about that is just, he didn't run the spread like I do now. He doesn't throw it like we do now. It's just a different era of college football. But my kids don't have to know that when I tell them that I broke Brett Favre's record in college. So it's a special deal. I'm sure I'll look back on it and really be proud of it. But more than anything, just this year, I want to win a conference championship, and I think that would mean way more to me than any of the records.
As always, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week to recap and catch you up on all the exciting basketball action we've had. We hope you've enjoyed this special championship football edition of Hyphen Nation. Now, we are sold out this Saturday, but be sure to watch it at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on ABC to see who will be your 2011 CUSA football champion. I'm Nicole Cartier for the Conference USA Digital Network.